In 1692, a 4-year-old girl stood accused of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts. Her accuser was another child. Before the trials were over, more than 200 people would be accused. 20 would be executed, and countless lives would be destroyed. This is not a story about witches. It is a story about what happens when fear becomes law. The panic began during the winter of 1692 in the home of Reverend Samuel Parris. His 9-year-old daughter, Betty, and his 11-year-old niece, Abigail Williams, suddenly began screaming, falling to the floor, and claiming invisible forces were attacking them. Doctors searched for a medical explanation but found none. With no answers, one physician suggested the girls were under the influence of witchcraft. That single conclusion changed the course of American history. Soon the girls were pressured to name the people responsible. Their answers would ignite one of the deadliest episodes of mass hysteria in colonial America. In the small village of Salem, 3 women became the focus of a growing storm. Tituba, an enslaved woman in Reverend Samuel Parris's home, stood alongside Sarah Good, a homeless beggar, and Sarah Osborne, a woman shunned for her marriage to a former indentured servant. None were pillars of their community, making them easy targets in a time of fear. When the girls of Salem claimed invisible spirits tormented them, the townspeople watched intently as these women were arrested. Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne boldly denied the accusations, but Tituba chose a different path. In a moment of survival, she confessed. With vivid tales of witches, strange creatures, and meetings with the devil, she cast a chilling shadow over the already anxious village. Whether her words were truth or an act of desperation, they ignited a fierce belief in witches, plunging Salem deeper into a crisis of fear. As fear spread like wildfire across Salem, the colony established a special court to address the mounting tide of witchcraft accusations. This court, known as the Court of Oyer Interminer, was fueled by deep-seated beliefs that the devil was real and that witches lurked among them. In a chilling twist, the court accepted something called spectral evidence. If someone claimed to see a spirit attacking them, it was treated as proof, despite no one else being able to witness it. Just a scream, a pointed finger, or even a fainting spell could condemn the innocent to imprisonment. Tragically, those accused found it nearly impossible to defend themselves, as the trials devolved into a frenzy that prioritized fear over truth. Soon enough, the accusations spiraled out of control, reaching far beyond the initial 3 prisoners, turning a community into a crucible of panic. In Salem Village, fear took root, spreading like wildfire. Neighbors turned against each other and families were torn apart. Trust vanished overnight. Amidst this chaos, John Proctor dared to question the girls' tales of witchcraft. His bravery came with a heavy price, as he and his devoted wife, Elizabeth, found themselves arrested, targeted for seeking the truth. Martha Corey, another voice of reason, spoke out, warning that innocent lives hung in the balance. Yet, just a day later, her resistance led to her own arrest. The chilling realization dawned: anyone who stood against the court could be branded a witch. By August 1692, even those who once held respect, like George Burroughs, faced accusations of leading a witch coven. Despite his vehement denials, the court's verdict was grim. The executions had begun, but the darkest days of this tragedy were still ahead. George Burroughs was only the beginning. By September 1692, the executions reached their deadliest point. Gallows Hill became a place of fear as more innocent people were led to their deaths. One of the accused was Giles Corey. He refused to enter a plea, knowing a trial would likely end in execution. Instead, officials placed a wooden board on his chest and piled heavy stones on top of him, hoping he would surrender. For 2 days, the weight grew heavier. His only reply was more weight. Giles Corey died without confessing. By the end of the trials, 20 innocent people had been executed. Others died in jail while waiting for trial. Salem had become a town consumed by fear, and the nightmare was far from over. If you're enjoying these forgotten stories, like, subscribe, and share for more forgotten legends the history books tried to bury. But the Salem Witch Trials did not end because people suddenly stopped believing in witches. They ended because the accusations reached the colony's most powerful families. Governor William Phipps learned that his own wife had been accused. Suddenly, the court that had condemned so many innocent people became a threat to everyone. In October 1692, Phipps dissolved the Court of Oyer and Terminer and banned spectral evidence. Without its most powerful weapon, the prosecutions quickly collapsed. Most of the remaining prisoners were released in 1693, but for many families, justice had come far too late. The trials were over, but Salem would never be the same. Families mourned loved ones who had been executed for crimes they never committed. Children grew up without parents. Homes and reputations had been destroyed. In the years that followed, some of those responsible admitted they had been wrong. Judge Samuel Sewall publicly apologized before his congregation, asking both God and the community for forgiveness. Several jurors also signed statements expressing deep regret, saying they had been misled by fear and false accusations, but no apology could undo what had happened. The scars of the Salem Witch Trials remained for generations, and the final chapter of the story was still waiting to be written. More than 300 years later, the Salem Witch Trials remain one of the darkest chapters in American history. In 1957, Massachusetts formally cleared many of the victims. In 1992, a memorial was dedicated in Salem, honoring those who had been falsely accused and executed. 20 innocent people lost their lives. Hundreds more lived under suspicion and fear. No witches were ever found. The Salem Witch Trials were not driven by magic. They were driven by fear, rumor, and a justice system that abandoned the truth. So here's the question. If you had lived in Salem in 1692 and someone accused you of witchcraft, do you think anyone would have believed you? Like, subscribe, and share for more forgotten legends the history books tried to bury.